Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Brooks Bonner. We are going to get started here. Some of you are probably familiar with me. I've probably spoken to all of you at some point. I am in the admissions counselor for the Tropical Biology on a Changing Planet semester program in Costa Rica. Hopefully, all of you are getting excited. We are a mere weeks away from you starting your semester with us down in Costa Rica. And so today, the idea of the pre-departure orientation is just for us to go over a few last-minute details in terms of your arrival, what you should expect, and then along with me is Adriana Baltodano Fuentes, who is our undergraduate program coordinator. And then also we have Mauricio Garcia, our lead faculty member. So before we get into some of the specifics, I'll go into how you guys have the opportunity to ask questions at the end. Okay. So if you haven't used this Fuse software before, right now you're all muted. Hopefully you can hear us. If you can't, then I'll show you how to do that in a second. You can advise me or let me know. But at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you're going to take your cursor and go over to those three little dots that say More menu. Okay. You click on that. It's going to bring a drop-down menu, and you're going to see an option in there for Raise Your Flag. Okay. So when we get to the end of the discussion here, I'm going to open it up to questions from students. So if you do have a question, or when you do have a question, I want you to go ahead and raise your flag. It'll let me know that you do have a question, and then I'll unmute you, and you can ask your question to the panel here. Okay. If for whatever reason you're having any trouble, anything like that, seeing or hearing today, we are going to be recording this, so I will be sharing this afterwards because it looks like there is one student that was unable to make it because he is currently abroad. But if there is any problems with the audio or the video, we will record it and share that with you at the end. And obviously, if you do have any questions that don't get answered or you forget to ask it at the time, you can always email myself or any of us, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. As hopefully you all know, the program begins on August 28th, so a few weeks from today. You do want to make sure that you arrive on August 28th in Costa Rica in the San Jose airport. If you are arriving beforehand, you need to coordinate. You should be, hopefully, you've already coordinated with us on your arrival to the hotel or the airport, okay? But if you are arriving on the 28th, you do want to make sure that you are wearing your OTS t-shirt. Hopefully you have all received your t-shirt by now. If you haven't, please let me know and I will rush one out to you before you depart. A couple other things to remember and take with you when you do travel. Number one is the orientation packet that is available on the program page that you all should have received. Make sure you print that out. And then also, we'll be sending you a letter which details the program's plans and the plans of the program to leave Costa Rica and go to Panama as part of the program. The reason we provide this letter is because your tourist visa, when you arrive in the country, should be 90 days. Now, this program is longer than 90 days. So basically, the Panama excursion to Bocas del Toro will allow you to reset your tourist visa when we go to Panama. So occasionally, not border agents, but the employees at the airline may require some type of proof that you're going to be leaving the country before 90 days. So we will provide you with this letter, which details the excursion as part of the program to Bocas del Toro, Panama. Now, there have been a few rare cases over the years where the airlines, depending on the policy that they have, may require some additional proof. So apart from this, we cannot provide any more documentation, basically, that this is what's happening in the program. So we do want to make it clear that if worst comes to worst, you basically, you want to be prepared for purchasing a one-way ticket at the when you're checking in to go to Costa Rica. Now, you do want to make sure that this is a refundable ticket, because what will happen is you'll need to purchase that ticket, and then once you arrive in Costa Rica, you go through customs, you can go ahead and cancel that ticket for a full refund. Okay. Now, this happens very rarely, but we do want to make sure that you are aware that there is a small possibility that this can happen. Okay. If you do have any questions, obviously at the end, feel free to ask us. We're happy to help. But the main thing is make sure you bring the letter that we're going to email you, and then also make sure you bring that orientation packet, and then wear your OTS t-shirt. When you do arrive at the airport, you will see someone holding a sign that says OTS Duke Study Abroad. Okay, so do look for that person. If you don't see them outside of baggage claim right away, stay put, hang around. They may have already taken a group to the hotel, but we know all of your flight information, so we have a good idea when you will be arriving and if your flight gets delayed. Um, I don't know, Adriana, is there anything you want to add to that?
Well, hi everyone. No, I think that Brooks summarized it very well. Just please know that some of you will be coming, let's say, an hour or half an hour, with a difference of half an hour within one flight and the next. So if you are coming, let's say at 9 and the next person is coming at 9:30, we might make a group and ask you to wait for a half an hour or something like that. But if you are coming, I don't know, at 7 in the morning and the next person is coming at 10, 11, then we will have a driver specifically for you. But in any case, you are going to find a person with an OTS sign and they will let you know what to do. So just if you are coming in a group, just we ask you for a little patience, and that's all. Also, with the refundable tickets, as Brooke said, they are rare, but we do have students that have had to buy those. So if you have access to a credit card, please ask your parents or whoever authorizes you on this to take this into account, because sometimes you need to raise a little bit of the credit for the credit card to work for you on this. Also, if you are not planning to come straight for the program, but some days in advance, if you have not done so already, please let Katia or me know, so that we can count the days that from the moment that you come to Costa Rica to the moment that we go to Bocas, to see if those 90 days will work for you, or if you have to go out of the country before. We will have a week of um, a midterm break where you are free to go to another country or do whatever. So sometimes the students have used these days to renew their 90-day visa. Mhm.
Well said. Well said. Um, yeah, I guess that's all I had to cover in terms of logistics and whatnot. Um, so without, I guess, further ado, I will hand it over to Mauricio to talk a little bit about where you guys are going to be going in the program, what are some of the cool things you're going to be doing, and yeah, Mauricio, take it away.
Thanks, Brooks. Okay, my name is Mauricio Garcia. I'm one of your professors in this course. I'm a biologist from Costa Rica. I work with insects, especially with sexual behavior in insects, but because the weevils really like to lay the eggs in palms, I work with palms too. Because I know about my formation is from insects, but I know a little bit of palms and plants in general. Uh, in this semester course, we're going to travel all over Costa Rica and a lot of different ecosystems. And even though Costa Rica is a really small country, we're talking about is you can fit Costa Rica 14 times in Texas. It's a really high diverse. And the main reason because it really has a high diversity is because it really uh, has a really big changes in the topography and elevation. So for that changes in topography and elevation, for us it's really hard to tell you what to bring. And that's the reason the list that we send you is really extensive. Um, and because it's really variable between the dry season and the wet season, and in the seasons is really variable too. So what we're gonna do is try to go over the sites that we're gonna visit and go all over the weather that is expected to have during this rainy season. So you're gonna be arriving in San Jose, and the temperature is really mellow, is really pleasant. It's in the Central Valley. It's around 20 Celsius degrees, and it probably is gonna be sunny in the morning or maybe rains in the afternoon. This rainy season being really heavy, but it's expected that it's gonna be not that much. Um, the first site that we're gonna visit is a tropical dry forest that's in Palo Verde, and OTS has a station there inside the park. And the park is trying to protect the dry forest that is in danger and the lagoon. Um, in there, we're gonna talk about different adaptations that plants and animals have to deal with the 6 months of dry season where there's no water, and the crops that are around the park, especially sugarcane and rice. And the temperature is a little bit hot in that area. We're going to be 40 meters over the sea level, and it's around 30 degrees Celsius. And besides that, it's a little bit hot and humid during this time of the year. There's a lot of mosquitoes, and we recommend that you wear long pants and long sleeves when we are out in the forest. And probably it's a good idea to bring a head bug net because the mosquitoes can be really annoying, especially when you're walking in the forest just looking some specific animal or a plant. After that, we're going to go to the highlands. And the highlands is something that really shocks the students normally because they don't expect to be that cold in the tropics. But we're going to be all the way up to 2,600 meters. And in one of the excursions, we're going to go over the 3,000 meters. And in that area is cold or chilly a little bit in 17 degrees Celsius during the day. At night can go to 3 or 4 degrees Celsius. So that can be really it can be really cold. Not as cold as the winter in north parts of the United States, but a little bit cold, and you need to be prepared for that. In that site, there's no phone or internet connection. So we have an emergency, we have access to a phone, but no internet. And after that, we're going to go to Las Cruces. And Las Cruces is a OTS kilo station, it starts as a garden. And, and OTS are being acquiring more and more land. And now it's a big piece of forest in the area. And it's at 1,100 meters in elevation. And it's really similar to where that is in San Jose. Same thing, it rains normally in the afternoons. And that's the reason in the mornings we take advantage and go out in the field because coffee is a really important crop for that area. They have been cutting a lot of the forest, and the spruces, it looks like a fragment in all the area. That's the reason we're going to talk in the area about fragmentation and restoration, and of course about coffee and the importance of the coffee in the area. After that, we're going to go to Monteverde, and Monteverde is a cloud forest, and it's cold and humid. And later, we're going to be living in the clouds because you can see the clouds just coming in the afternoons or the station. And a lot of times it's raining or misty. The temperature is around 17 degrees Celsius, and at night can go all the way to 12 degrees Celsius. And here is really important. The site is really important because it's the first time that somebody described the decline of the population of one of the important frogs, and actually disappears. And that's the reason we're going to talk there about frogs and frog declines. And I'm going to talk about the impact of tourism in the area because it's really high in tourism. But we're going to talk about pollination and seed dispersal because there's another set of advantages that the birds and the insects take in that area or adaptation that they have to be able to pollinate the flowers and disperse the fruits there. There is internet there, but it's a really slow. And after that, we're going to go to Boca del Toro in Panama. It's going to be hot and humid, and it might be some mosquitoes or no seams. But the ocean is right there, and we're going to spend a lot of time in the ocean. Um, We recommend in the list is recommended to bring a mask and a snorkel because we're going to do a project in the reef in the area. So we're going to be talking about reef ecology, reef conservation, and we're going to do a project in the reef. Next site is La Selva. There's a lowland Atlantic, lowland tropical wet forest, and it's gonna be hot and humid too. There will be some mosquitoes, but no as bad. There are some in the forest. Here we talk about tropical lowland rainforest. We're going to talk about bananas. We're going to talk about pineapples because the the area around the forest that is an OTS station that it protects 1,600 hectares of forest is being cultivated really heavily in the beginning with bananas and now with pineapple, some bananas. During this time, the students will develop the student project and they will do a presentation. They will do a poster for the community, and those posters are in Spanish. And because we're going to end of the program, we expect that you manage a lot of Spanish because you have been over the classes in Spanish. Um, what I said before, we try to do the outside activities in the morning because it's less likely that rains, and in the afternoon we have classes. Um, be prepared for rain, be prepared for mosquitoes. We ask you to bring rubber boots. You can buy the rubber boots in the United States. They're going to be a little bit expensive, more expensive than Costa Rica. They are going to be a little bit bulky to bring in your luggage, but normally they are more comfortable. Here you can buy rubber boots for $10, and they are not. They are really cheap in that sense. That's everything they have.
Okay, okay. Now, Mauricio, I can't remember. Did you reference the language immersion part of the program at all?
Now,
You want to touch on that real quick?
yeah, it's almost every. We're gonna go to Palo Verde and Cuericí, and after is a week of Spanish. After we're going to Las Cruces, that's for 3 weeks, and after a week on Spanish, and your break. After we go to Monteverde and Boca del Toro, and after is a week in Spanish, and after we go to our last site, the La Selva.
Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, just to chime in a little bit here. When you were, so one of your courses is going to be Spanish and culture, and you are going to have that in an institution that is called Costa Rica Language Academy. You will be having lessons in the mornings and sometimes in the afternoons too. And you will be living with families. You will be having homestays there. That is going to be happening in the city that is in San Jose. So you are going to be able to have a little more free time so that you can discover the city a little bit. So when you plan to on what to bring or what clothes, you can bring some city clothes too. Not too many because you are going to be spending most of your time in the field though. So just just that. And also, when Mao said that the poster session is going to be in Spanish, we normally have some students freak out at this point, but I just want to let you know that don't be scared. Whatever your level of Spanish is, you're going to be fine. Um, what happens normally is that the more advanced students will help the ones that are a little disadvantaged, but everyone is going to improve their knowledge of Spanish here. So that's a thing to be excited and not scared about. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's the and many of you, I'm sure, some of you, I'm sure, have taken Spanish courses, but the easiest and most effective way to learn Spanish is being immersed in it, and this
Yeah.
is going to be a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, Mauricio, is there anything else you want to add before I open it up to questions from the students?
No, it's just that it's we're gonna be seeing a lot of different animals. We're gonna see monkeys. We're gonna see peccaries. We're gonna see, I don't know. Every time that we're gonna spend a lot of time in the forest, and every time that we see something, we will stop, looking at it with the binoculars, with whatever we have, or uh, if there's something that we can touch, we will touch it. and pass around the students. And it's not a zoo, so that's really hard to tell you what we're gonna see or not. But normally we see a lot of exciting things.
Right. Well said. Well said. Yeah, I think it's helpful for a lot of students to know that you're not going to be spending all your time in the classroom. There is going to be some time in the class, in lecture, but the reason you're in Costa Rica is to go out and experience these things firsthand. So be prepared to be outside in the rain, in the sunshine. So be prepared for that.
Yep.
Okay, so what I'll do now is let's open it up to student questions. So, this could be about anything that we've covered, or it could be about something maybe that we didn't talk about, or something you read in the orientation packet or in the packing list. But this is going to be your opportunity now to ask questions to us before you head off for Costa Rica. So again, if you do have a question, go to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, click on those three dots, and go ahead and click on raise your flag, and I will see that and let you go ahead and ask a question. Looks like Michaela has a question. So let me get you unmuted here, Michaela. Give me one sec. Okay, Michaela. Can you hear us? Michaela? No, I don't hear her. Let's put her on mute. We have someone else with a question. We'll come back to you, Michaela. Looks like Rowan has a question. All right, let me see here. Rowan, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Also, Michaela, you can text me your question and I can ask it if you want. What I was going to ask is about the homestay. I'm slightly confused as to when that takes place. Is it so are there like 3 specific weeks during which we're in a homestay, or is it all and we're in San Jose, or is it in like one specific chunk of time?
Right.
I don't know if that made sense.
Adriana, you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so how that is going to work this time is you're going to have Spanish on 3 separate weeks, not just one big block. So you're going to have 1 week of Spanish in San Jose. All the Spanish is going to take place in San Jose. And during that week, you're going to be staying with your homestay family. Then you go out to the field again. Then you come back for another week at San Jose. And then again, so it's 3 separate weeks of Spanish. You can download the itinerary on our website. We have the dates there. Those are tentative dates, but you can have a quite accurate picture of how it's going to look.
Rowan,
All right.
does that answer your question? Sorry, I muted you
Yes,
there.
no. That makes sense. Sounds good. And then also Michaela's question, which she just sent me, was she's wondering what we should bring for money, as in credit card, colones, dollars, etc.
So it's really, it's at the airport. You're going to have the opportunity, as well as, the day of the day after the orientation, to get money out. Um, I think in general, I always advise people not to change money at the airport, just because the exchange rate is never that great. Um, Normally, you can go and use your credit card, Visa, Mastercard at a lot of locations in Costa Rica. However, there will be times where you'll want to have colones. But I think there's times. I think, Adriana, you were saying there's times where you can actually pay with dollars. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes. I don't know. Maybe Mao will want to give more specific details on when.
Yeah, it's really variable. Depends because we provide all the meals, and but depends if you want to buy an extra Coke, or you want to buy extra food. That's when you need some money. And we're gonna be away from the central towns because we're gonna be in stations, biological stations. But once in a while, when we travel, or you have an opportunity to go to town, that's when you need some colones. But normally, you can pay with credit card. If you need to pay, for example, I don't know, a piece of fruit or something that is really small, yes, you need colones. But it just depends on how much do you want the extra food, and how much you want to be out to. In San Jose, yes, you need colones to travel in the bus and all that kind of stuff. But OTS will provide some of the money for lunch too, so you are going to have colones too. So then that is hard to tell. I will suggest to bring some dollars in cash, but not to change it. Just wait a little bit or change a little bit, like a $20 or something, and after see what are the prices and what you want, so you can decide how much to change.
It's
Yeah.
also
Sorry.
no. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Also, on what Mao said, you are going to have the opportunity when you are in Spanish. That's probably when you're going to be spending more of your own money. And the ATMs here, they can give you colones directly or dollars, so you have that opportunity. And I was just going to say also, well, the amount of money will depend on how much big of a spender you are, because you can spend, I don't know, $100 in the whole semester, or you can spend 1,000. It will vary. Um, Normally, as Mao said, you don't have the opportunity of be buying that much. Right now, I am here at La Selva, and you'll see when you are here that one of the greatest things is the little store that has a lot of ice cream. And since it gets very hot and very humid, that is a real treat. So you're gonna you're gonna want to have colones for that probably. We also require that you bring $20 for the first day, because we are going to get a deposit from you. Those $20 will help us in case that some equipment gets lost. So it's just like a security thing. We will collect those $20 and give them back to you in the end of the semester if all the equipment is safe, which that's normally the case. So just if you are thinking on how much money to bring, please think of those $20 that you need to give to the OTS office the first day. Mhm.
Good. And it's also important too to notify your bank that you will be traveling to Costa Rica and Panama for a few months, so that they do not see a few charges out of the ordinary and put a hold on your account. So it's a simple call, let them know the dates that you'll be traveling, and then that way you can always usually access funds or money whenever you need to.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if anyone else heard this, but Adriana, were those howler monkeys that I was hearing a few
Yes.
minutes ago?
Yes, those were howler monkeys. Exactly.
You'll get to know and become familiar with their sound if you aren't already. Because Adriana is actually at La Selva right now, and so
Yeah.
um, you can tell she's in the middle of the forest. So okay, anyone else with a question? Um, I know we got a few other people that haven't asked. Um, again, if you think of something afterwards, or if it's something maybe it's a little bit more personal, if you want to email us, that's fine. Um, but anything else before we cut it off? Anything else that Adriana or Mao you want to share with the group?
No, I don't think so. How?
I am just excited to meet all you guys, and it's gonna be a great semester. You're gonna see a lot of different things. That during the rainy season is
Yeah.
totally different weather. So you see Costa Rica during the rainy season and see it in the rainy season, it's totally different. So that's the reason that for me it's really excited uh,
Uh-huh.
to go one year and another one, because you always see different things. Um, but it's gonna be really cool.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
A lot of fun.
Okay, well, I will, if we don't have any more questions, I will end the talk here. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Adriana. Thank you, Mao. And again, if you do have questions, email us, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah. See you soon.
Bye.
Ciao.